Will that other person or organization change? If you're in a relationship with someone and they're behaving badly, this is an important question. If you have a problem employee, this is an important question. You might be part of an organization you suspect has cult tendencies. Can they change? And for the rest of us, do we struggle with something that is making change much harder than it needs to be? Here are 4 clear signs that a person or organization isn't likely to change. The first is arrogance. Since that's a vague term, it boils down to not being able to see the problem, much less how it was created. One of the primary challenges faced by individuals with narcissistic personality disorder is their resistance to change due to arrogance. This resistance arises from their deep-rooted belief in their superiority and perfection. Admitting to any shortcomings or flaws threatens their carefully constructed self-image, leading to a fear of losing control and power. Consequently, they lose their ability to change because change requires them to confront their vulnerabilities and relinquish their need for constant validation. Organizations who see themselves as the kingdom of God on earth struggle to acknowledge flaws such as systemic abuse of children because of their arrogance. If a person or organization doesn't accept the need to change, they won't. The second sign of a change-resistant person or organization is no accountability. If they deny, diminish, blame shift, or deceive to avoid taking any ownership of a problem, they can't change. Seeing and owning the current state is an essential ingredient of change capability. I was in a 6-year relationship with a person who consistently gaslighted me when a problem or issue arose. Counseling was a joke because when she couldn't get the counselor to take her side on all issues, she saw no value in the counselor. Even when a narcissist is threatened with reputational or legal damage, rather than change, they become better manipulators. By better manipulators, I mean they get better at their false faces, hiding their actions or creating plausible deniability. Owning their actions and making real change is easier than all the manipulation tactics. The third sign of a highly resistive person or organization is accusation. One way that manipulative people avoid seeing and owning their role in a problem is to counter-accuse others to shift focus from them. Anyone who points out a flaw is the enemy and must be attacked. Scientology is the most vicious cult when it comes to accusing and attacking their critics, but they're not alone. Former Mormons or Latter-day Saints commonly suffer shunning when they speak out against their former church for real problems. If someone or a group is orchestrating a smear campaign, chances are good that they're manipulators who are trying to avoid real change. The saddest part of this is real change. Owning up to their role in a problem such as system child abuse dings their reputation, but is the fastest path to solving the problem and protecting children. In the case of the LDS Church, they could easily incorporate background checks for those who work with children and involve law enforcement when there's a problem. But instead, they recently won a court case that allows them not to report abuse, making them less accountable. Why not just solve the problem through real change? Arrogance and a desire to avoid all accountability are clearly at work here. And they use their influence to smear those who want them to change. Those who have sought to change them as members ended up getting kicked out for not sitting down and shutting up when they attracted media attention. It's ugly, but the bottom line is, will they change? No. The fourth and final sign of a low change capability is low empathy. Those who suffer from narcissistic personal disorder just don't care who they impact unless it somehow blows back to affect them. They are low empathy people. That abusive person who can hold their anger when a stronger man is around yet can't when only their children are there are low empathy people. The harm they cause for their children isn't enough to trigger change. Empathy, seeing and understanding how our actions affect others, is a strong motivator for change for normal, healthy people. With low empathy, people, especially narcissists, people exist to meet your needs. Low empathy people are much more invested in how they feel, rather than care about how others feels. You can spot a low empathy person by the way they harshly criticize others, dominate conversations so it's about them, seem unable to walk in other people's shoes, or lack respect for other people's opinions. Low empathy people tend not to express gratitude and find ways to withdraw from emotionally complicated situations. Can a low empathy person change? It's unlikely because they lack a reason. They may find rewards in abusive, obnoxious behavior, making change all the more unlikely. In summary, change is difficult for arrogant, accountability-avoidant accusers with low empathy. They have constructed a false identity that cannot stand in the light of reality. So they avoid it at all costs. And they suffer because change is usually the fastest path to feeling better. It's certainly the only sustainable path to happiness. Thanks for joining us today at the Change Capability Institute.